through fear and drifting. The only people that the devil controls is those that are drifting, those that are in fear. The only way he has control is if you are in some type of fear. That's why it is so important to have faith. A lot of people, they know how important faith is, and they hear about the importance of it, but how often are they practicing it? How often is it really a habit in their daily lives? How often are they praying? Are they asking to increase their faith? Are they practicing it when they feel fear? Every single day we face challenges, we have fear. And that is the opportunity to practice faith. So you got to be honest with yourself and ask, how often you're actually more fearful than you are faithful. And the purpose of this video is to encourage you to not have fear and to have faith. Because the devil cannot control you if you are not in fear. I can't emphasize this enough. There's so many different ways the devil will control you through fear. He'll have you have a fear that you're not enough, that you don't have enough, of poverty. He'll have you in fear that you're not enough and you'll never find love. He'll have you in fear that of death, scared. He'll have you just in a scarcity mindset. There's so many different forms. Every single day we face these. All the challenges we face. That's why it's so important to always to walk in the Spirit and to know that God is always with us. Isaiah 41:10, it says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will help you. I'll uphold you with my righteous right hand. He will strengthen us." And we always have to have those verses that we go to in times of need, when we're struggling, when we're down. We have to remember these things and stand on God's promises. And I want to say this as well. Fear leads to drifting. Drifting is just procrastination. What are you talking about, drifting? That's a term that pretty much says you're not on your purpose. There's two types of people. The one that's drifting and the one that's on their purpose. The person that's drifting, they're a victim. The moment you blame something in some type of person or some circumstance is the moment you'll accept that you'll never have control in your life. It's the moment you become a victim, the moment you blame. If you're blaming your family because, the only food they buy is junk food, that's why you're overweight. If you're blaming your spouse, whatever it is for whatever problem. If you're blaming your boss why you can't make more money. If you're blaming the government for, whatever it is, whatever you're blaming. If you continue to blame, you're just going to be a victim. The drifter is someone that blames, never takes accountability. Where there's no accountability, there's no growth. The drifter is someone that always finds an excuse. They're just soft. The moment they have any type of pain, they go calling out to the Most High God. They go calling out. The moment they face adversity, they run. The moment they have to make a decision, they retreat. They go back, they go in reverse. The opposite, and before I go on to the person that's on their purpose, that is the person that the devil controls, is the drifter, the procrastinator. Because he will continue to fill them with fear through whatever tactics, whatever seeds that he plants. He'll continue to fill them with fear. He'll continue to grow. The moment that you start, habits come in duos, triplets, whatever you want to call it. They come in pairs. So the moment that the drifter starts drifting, they start indulging, they start to be gluttonous in whatever form, whatever habit it is. That's the moment you start drifting. You start procrastinating, you start putting things off. Next thing you know it, that's why people say they go on a bender. All these other habits start to take place. When you have discipline in one area, you have discipline in most areas. When you lose discipline in one area, you're going to lose it because your mental fortitude, your mental strength and grit is just you're not putting it in practice. You're not strengthening it. You're not exercising it. And that's how the devil continues to build momentum and take control. That's why you need to, boom, immediately when you have a lustful thought or start drifting or whatever it is, temptation, you got to call out to God. You got to have that relationship. And here's the thing. If you want to get back into church, maybe, let's say, for example, the devil's going to tell you, no, they're not going to accept you. They're going to be mad you haven't been there. They're going to be mad you've been in your sinful ways. They're not going to accept you. They're going to say this. They're going to judge you. The devil will do everything possible to get you to not go back and be in community. I've experienced this in my own life 100%. I can attest to this. And that's just false, because that confusion and that doubt doesn't come from God. None of that comes from God. What comes from God is the certainty, belief, strength, courage. The doubt, fear, delay, all that, delusion, doubt, all that comes from the devil. So you need to immediately have those verses you run to and know that God is with you and he will strengthen you. And the devil wants you to think otherwise. And I'm just going to share my quick testimony. You know, there was a time in my life where I was out of church for a little bit. I wanted to get back in. Literally the moment that I decided to get back in, I was so tempted to go out. All my friends were going out and stuff, and I fell into temptation. I went out and, I didn't go do anything crazy, but I just, that's what the devil will do. He'll justify it. He'll say, it's okay, just go out, just have a beer, go out, just let loose a little bit, come back at a decent time, whatever. Try and justify it. I didn't go to church the next morning. Not because I was all hungover or anything crazy, just because I didn't go to sleep at a good time. And that's what the devil will do. He'll do anything possible. And, the Bible says to just completely flee from lust. Other temptations you can not look or this or that, but lust is so strong, you just got to flee. So there's some things when you're born again, you're walking in the Spirit, there's some things you really just shouldn't be doing, and places you just shouldn't be going. You got to understand the power of your Spirit and the power of the places you go. And I don't really think it's the best idea unless you're going out celebrating and stuff to be in those environments, Anyways, the next week I was trying to get in church. I literally got sick. The devil will use these things. I got sick, I didn't make it. And then next week I'm thinking, I've been out for a couple weeks. I don't know if they're gonna want me to be back in church. They might think this or that. All the devil's work. All the devil trying to keep me from getting back in the church. And this is just my quick testimony, because the devil does this with so many different forms, so many different aspects of our life. With your marriage, he might try and get you to think a certain way about your spouse and focus only on that bad thing. With your body, he might try to get you to think, oh, I'm just like this. I'm just this way. I just overeat. I just don't work out. I'm just not the type of gym person. Whatever, all these lies. And here's where I'm going to go into the second part of this, the person that's on their purpose and not a drifter. There is no spiritual gift. There's no special talent. There's no God-given born ability between these two. God gives us all gifts, of course. No gift is better than another. I'm no better than one man. No man is better than me. No, we're all given gifts, but there is no thing that you're born with that makes you different from being a drifter versus being someone that's on their purpose. God gives us a free will. You have to decide. He's such a loving God. He gives us the choice to decide what we're going to do, where we're going to go. He wants to take us to this place. But we can't get there if we keep on making the same decisions, living for our flesh instead of our spirit. Flesh is death, spirit is life. But anyways, the person that's on their purpose, they don't run to God when they have a little bit of pain. They prayed for that pain. They prayed for that adversity. They know on the other side of that adversity is greatness. There's someone who's willing to do whatever it takes, no matter how long, no matter how much pain, no matter how much sacrifice. There's someone that is willing to go through the depths, through the trenches to get what they want. Someone that's on their purpose, they don't care what other people think. They're not a people pleaser. They don't care because they know God is the only validation they need. They give freely. Drifters, they take. They will drink as long as a man another buys it. They'll gamble as long as they're on the cuff. You know, all these things. The person that's on their purpose, they don't need any thank you when they give a gift. They don't need any credit. They don't need any validation because they know the blessings and all the validation comes from God. When Jesus turned, when he turned the water into wine, look, he didn't even tell the person that he didn't need any credit. He literally told the person not to give him credit. So you have to understand, you don't have to you don't have to seek this credit, this validation from man. God will supply you with all the blessings and all the validation you need. So the person that's on their purpose, they have a game plan, they are driven, they have a scheme, some people think scheme is like, this fraudulent thing. They have a plan, they have a strategy. Every single goal, big or small, is leading to their purpose, their God-given purpose. They're on their purpose every single day. There's no God-given ability that they're born with. You can do this. You have to simply not give the devil any power. You have to not give him any foothold. The Bible says don't give him any foothold. And the way you do this, I'm going to wrap this up now, is all your habits, every form, every aspect. You have to have discipline. You have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to delay the gratification. Delay the short-term gratification and the validation for the long term. You go to work out, you're not going to see results right away. You continue working out. You go to pray, it might be hard at first, but you continue praying. Increase your faith. You go to spend time with God, you cry out to him. All these things, you got to continue to do it. You got to have a plan. You got to have a purpose. You got to execute. And what this really means is you can't focus on your flesh. You can't be all in your emotions. You have a God-given purpose. You get up and you thank God. You thank God for the blessing of being able to do what you can do. You don't complain. You don't say, why me, poor me. You get up. You got to switch your attitude. So do not be a drifter. Be on your purpose. Find your purpose. Pray to God that he reveals your purpose if you don't know what it is. And I want to remind you, you have a purpose. You have a reason that you're here. You're not just here just for no reason. So you're not just an NPC wandering around. You have a purpose, and God will help you and guide you in that purpose. So seek it. Do it every day. Do it nonstop. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be a repetitive task every single day. But it's going to be hard. It'll be worth it 100%. Less fear, more faith. Do not have fear. Just be aware of it. Right when you turn this video off, just be aware of the fear that you encounter, the challenges, the problems you face. Just be aware of that fear and turn it into faith. Strive for Christ. Let's go.